Hello everyone, I'm PJ Hart, and you're listening to the second episode of AIA in the Air, the official podcast of the Aerospace Industries Association, the nation's most authoritative and influential voice of the aerospace and defense industry. AIA represents more than 100 leading aerospace and defense manufacturers, along with a supplier base of nearly 200 associate members. Today we're talking with Marion Blakey, the president and CEO of AIA. Prior to joining AIA in 2007, Marion served as administrator of the FAA, where she regulated the nation's airways and operated the world's largest air traffic control system. We're here today to discuss National Aerospace Week, which has events occurring everywhere from Pittsburgh to Oklahoma, Colorado, Hawaii, and Capitol Hill. Marion, thank you for being here today.
Delighted to be here.
Marion, National Aerospace Day last year was a great success, and this year Congress has declared the entire third week of September, September 12th through 18th, National Aerospace Week. Can you explain what led to the decision to expand into a full week?
Nothing succeeds like success, and Congress recognized that. There was so much interest last year that there was no way to fit everything into a single day. Our companies, other aligned organizations, were interested in participating all over the country. After all, one of the key reasons behind National Aerospace Week is to thank the men and women who have contributed so much to our economy and our national security. You have to recognize that there are 800,000 aerospace and defense workers that support more than 2 million jobs in all 50 states. That's a lot of territory to cover and a lot of events that are going to be going on. I hope a week can hold it all.
Marion, AIA is working on a number of high-profile issues for the aerospace industry this year. Can you tell us what you hope to highlight during the National Aerospace Week?
We are highlighting the contributions in aerospace in a number of areas. Certainly the high technology, cutting-edge advances that we're making will be a part of the discussion. And we're also talking about some of the tough issues that we have to tackle to keep U.S. aerospace not only leading edge, but really the global leader. That means, for example, we're going to be releasing a paper on the challenges that we have in overcoming capacity in commercial aviation, the capacity problem that every time you get on a plane these days, all the seats are full and more flights in the air. Overcoming the environmental challenges. After all, we're all concerned about emissions and noise, and even though aviation contributes only somewhere between 2 and 3% of overall emissions, we're still looking to drive that down and become ever more efficient. We're going to be talking about this, in fact, at a luncheon in the Senate Aerospace Caucus up on Capitol Hill, where our speaker is going to be the Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood. And we'll bring that paper out the same day, which offers recommendations in light of the challenges we're talking about.
You mentioned that there's events all over the U.S. I understand one of the events that will also be held in Washington, D.C. is the Air Force Association Convention. And I was wondering if you could tell me what role AIA might play during the convention.
Well, we're very involved with, of course, the Air Force and the association, AFA, because they are, in fact, major parts of the aerospace community. I'm going to be giving a major speech that day, in fact, that is addressing the issues of defense acquisition reform. How do we become more efficient as companies that are supplying the equipment that the Air Force and, in fact, the Department of Defense depend on?
One of the things that was a hallmark in National Aerospace Day last year was AIA activity on the Hill. I believe last year there was an AIA March to the Hill with supplier companies. Will that be occurring this year?
Absolutely. Our smaller companies, again, are going to be going up there along with the big companies, but we have suppliers from all over the U.S. who want to go and talk with their congressmen about things like tax policy, the R&D tax credit and how important it is to them, contracting regulations, and the modernization of export controls so that we can be successful in supporting our allies on the battlefield and really have the kind of national security controls we need these days on the export front.
Marion, last year AIA awarded the Wings of Liberty Award to Senator Daniel Inouye. Will that award be given out this year, and if so, to whom?
The Wings of Liberty is the most prestigious award that the aerospace industry can present to a member of Congress, and I'm delighted to say that it is going to Congressman Norm Dix of Washington State, a real leader in the House on multiple fronts, including he is the chairman of the House Subcommittee on Defense Appropriations.
How can people listening get more involved in National Aerospace Week?
Well, I think there are a variety of things they can do. For one, they can go to our website, www.nationalaerospaceweek.org. They can check out events that are happening in their area. There's a toolkit that allows them to think of ways that they can thank their employees and get involved with more visibility on aerospace issues in the community. Individuals can send a letter to their congressman about aerospace. And go into our blog. You can catch the latest news and pictures. One of the things that I think is really exciting is that we've got contests going on. We just closed a contest that has 2,000 submissions of photographs having to do with aerospace, and we will be picking some very fine entries there, culminating in a feature photo that we'll be using throughout the year next year. We've got a contest going for kids K through 12, all about an aerospace design. For middle and high school kids, as well as the elementary crowd, K through 12, there are going to be some really exciting entries, and that's open all the way through next week. And then we'll be picking winners. And by the way, winners in this get a variety of things, including some very cool Apple iPads.
We've been speaking with Marion Blakey, President and CEO of AIA. Marion, thanks for taking time with us on AIA in the Air.
My pleasure, PJ.
Thank you for listening. I'll be back next month with a new episode of AIA in the Air. If you like what you hear, please share the podcast with your friends. If you have any questions about the podcast, or if you'd like to get in touch, you can email us at podcast@aia-aerospace.org. You can also follow us online via Twitter and Facebook.